But hey, as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
122. So Dan Muse has already shown some good judgment behind the bench for his first game as Pittsburgh coach. He has the longest running trio in the history of North American professional sports, all on the ice to start the game. Crosby, Malkin, and Letang with the two teenagers out there as well. Brunick and Kendall, first time that the Penguins have had two teenagers on opening night since Letang and Jordan Staal dressed in the opener back in 2006. Crosby an early chance, denied by Shesterkin. Behind the net, Malkin sent it to the goal line, played away by Adam Fox, who got knocked down. Malkin back to the line to Brunick. Brunick trying to send it down low. Crosby another chance with some help from the 18-year-old Kendall. Shot from the point by Brunick goes wide. Now Crosby centers for Brunick off his skate, a free puck. Rangers, they hope and believe, can have a bounce-back season. Schneider off for Lafreniere in the circle, off the arm of Sheloffs and up out of the rink after 3 years out. Wotherspoon, the newcomer, free agent acquisition. They have 6 players in uniform tonight making their debuts. Abanajad missed the net. Set up by Will Cooley all alone out in front of Sheloffs, and he missed the net. No time in the minors for him. Straight to the NHL at age 18. And a good hit by Rempe. That always gets the approval of the crowd here at MSG. Rempe tried to center it. It got blocked, and Carrick couldn't turn and fire after Carlson blocked the original try. Swept ahead to Philip Tomasino. Centering pass. Winds up down low. And a couple of good chances for Caleb Jones. Now Vakanainen tails it to the far boards. Braden Schneider pinches in. Good check delivered by Caleb Jones, and then he got hurt. A hit by Lafreniere. Mike Sullivan has told Lafreniere he'd like him to be more physical. It was hard to play against him when he was getting to the center of the ice, delivering the body. Here he started his career with the Penguins as part of their 2 Stanley Cup teams in 16 and 17 under Mike Sullivan, his first 2 years behind the Penguins bench. At the line, kept in by Tommy Novak. It wound up down low. And Kendall couldn't redirect it on net. Be careful. You don't want to jinx it.
Yes, I do know what I've just done.
And here comes the Zamboni breaking down in the middle of the ice. Morgan played it ahead of the line. Taylor Radish couldn't advance it. He's a newcomer to the Rangers. Beautiful save by Shesterkin. Then the follow-up attempt by Kendall was hindered by Sheary. Jones played it into the corner. They play it right out in front. It wound up on the stick of Philip Tomasino. Stopped by Shesterkin since the first round in 2018 against the Flyers. Despite his great reputation, well earned, some Penguin fans thought it was time to move on from Mike Sullivan. Brazeau, a couple of opportunities at the net front, and Shesterkin held his ground.
The Rangers haven't defended that very well, and if you look at the way the Penguins have played, I'd say they've been the quicker team. They've been better around the front.
And they score right off the face-off. Justin Brazeau, his first goal as a Penguin. Anthony Mantha retrieved the puck for him, and Pittsburgh has the lead with 32 seconds to go in the first period.
Sean, you mentioned Dan Muse said these are 3 large humans on this line. Malkin pushes the puck through the feet of Trocheck. Trocheck led the NHL in face-off wins last year, but Malkin gets to the puck first, and the Rangers converge where the loose puck is. Panarin goes by Brazeau. Lafreniere goes by Brazeau. The big man, 6'5", is all alone in front of the net. He makes a nice move there, backhand.
Intercepted by Will Cooley. Zibanejad tried to bank it around. Letang, Shea there to cover. And then Fox knocked down Billy Koivunen in the neutral zone. Zibanejad stopped by Arturs Šilovs, making his Penguins debut. A bit of a surprise. He was the choice over the veteran Jari Lafreniere. That winds up off the far boards. Panarin trying to spin away from Koivunen and could not. Brazeau tried to send Malkin ahead. Malkin got knocked down. Wotherspoon raced to keep it in. Carried off Malkin to the bottom of the circle. Now Mantha for Malkin, and it's kicked out by Shesterkin. Follow-up shot by Erik Karlsson. And now played up the wall, but not out by Panarin. Wotherspoon, former Boston Bruin. Now Caleb Jones at the line. Now Thomas Novak working on Vakanainen. And it's banked ahead and out by Radish. Played in 80 games last year for Washington. Cross ice pass from Sheary, sent in deeper by Radish to Laba. Mike Sullivan raving about how big and strong Laba is. 6'3", 214, and he can really skate as well. Now Kendall, the 18-year-old rookie, on the ice with his fellow teenage rookie Brunick, who lost the puck. Rempe, it went past Carrick. Fox pinches in. Tomasino there for the Pens. He won the puck, then gave it back to Carrick. Fox still in deep, and the Penguins look to capitalize on that.
Impressed by the Pens here early on.
There's JT Miller. Zibanejad stretched to stay onside. Zibanejad most of his career at center, but he moved to the wing when Miller arrived, and that is a duo that worked well together. Mike Sullivan sticking with it. A rebound off the back wall, and Šilovs came sliding across when it looked like Zibanejad was going to pot one into an empty net prior to this season. And the puck got turned over to Cooley. JT Miller couldn't play it as he was bumped by Raquel. Miller, off it goes, and Borgen's shot blocked out in front. Borgen came over from Seattle in the middle of last year, and they immediately gave him a 5-year extension. There's a shot right on by Karlsson. A follow-up by Raquel was deflected over the net by Mika Zibanejad.
And I have to ask what it's like playing against number 87.
Yeah, well, you know, obviously he's a special player. He's a special person. He's, you know, he just represents everything that's right about hockey. So it's a little weird being on the opposite bench, but I'm excited about this group I got in front of me.
Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
And Mike Sullivan, since he was introduced as a Rangers coach, has been asked a lot about opening up against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Blake Lizotte put a shot on net for the Pens. And he said he wasn't sure what it was going to be like until it got closer. And then we visited with him about an hour and a half before the game when he was asked the question again. You could tell the emotions were starting to sink in. He has such great admiration and affection for Sidney Crosby and the other veterans who he coached, both as people and players. Rempe in on the forecheck. Rempe has some room behind the net. Tried to center, and Ryan Shea got a stick on it.
Their depth, you know, their third and fourth line, you wonder whether they can score enough. Maybe Laba can give him a shot in the arm, but he's just a rookie, right? Like, it's hard.
Here's Schneider, numbers for New York. The shot by Sherry, it's free at the top of the crease and poked away by Šilovs. Shea lost a stick and retrieved it. Now Schneider, they think he can give them more. He had shoulder surgery in the offseason, something that's bothered him for a while, and he's played through it. Now it got turned over to Malkin. Here's Tomasino with Mantha. Tomasino tried to drag it around Sheary. It's off the back glass. And now Malkin into the circle and blocked by Laba.
And missed the net. Zibanejad will take this draw in the right corner against Crosby. One of the advantages of having a couple of centermen on the same line.
Karlsson 9 seasons of 50-plus points. More than any active defenseman. Koivunen and Fox, Raquel and Miller all there, waiting for the puck to pop out. It comes to Crosby. As always, uses his body so well down low. Carlson didn't get good wood on that one-timer from the top of the circle. Wotherspoon played it ahead to Koivunen. Off the back, Dasher, Raquel, tough angle, Crosby, and Raquel trying to get away from Susie. Free puck, Koivunen hit the post. Took it to the backhand, had Shesterkin down and out, and knocked it off the goal post. Dewar worked it free, and Letang couldn't keep it in. And then Panarin took it away. Tried to center it, hit Noel Acciari. Panarin behind the net with Radish in the crease, screening Shilovs as that one went high and wide from Panarin. Schneider down low, and then Radish had it wind up in the corner. Panarin centers one, trying to get it to Laba. Panarin again, back of the line, Borgen for Vakanainen. Borgen, Panarin a one-timer. Now Acciari, Laba took it away. Noah Laba back for Vakanainen. It comes to Acciari. Banked ahead by Dewar. He's desperate to get off as he slid it in softly. The Penguins do get a line change, and Shilovs will cover that. Rempe and Shea jousting. Under 3 minutes to go, second period. Mantha. Carlson tried to head man it, and Kendall got knocked off the puck. Now Rempe. Couldn't shed Carlson. And it winds up with Kendall. Kendall, 18 years old, from British Columbia.
His parents are out here. They were on the same flight as me yesterday, coming from Vancouver. They were just so excited. They're here for the weekend to watch Ben play his first couple of games.
Bad turnover. Zibanejad. Glove save by Shilovs. Cooley from a tough angle. And now Sam Carrick back to the line. Vakanainen get hopped off the stick of Zibanejad. And now Wotherspoon for Tomasino. And now Crosby trying to make a move on Vakanainen. Nobody else in white in the offensive zone. They're changing. Now here's Koivunen out in front. Raquel was in the crease, and it wound up off the back wall. Schneider with some speed. Lafreniere, nice save by Shilovs. He's stopped everything so far as a Pittsburgh Penguin. Panarin down low. Shilovs stuck his stick out. And here's a tripping call against Pittsburgh. Jake Brink the call. Sidney Crosby arguing with that decision. Chris Letang going off.
2 minutes for tripping.
One nothing Pittsburgh in the opening 30 seconds of period 3. Artemi Panarin for JT Miller. He falls down on this fresh ice. Lafreniere sweeps it around. 10 seconds on the New York power play. Panarin looking for a tip. Lafreniere had it smothered by Artur Shilovs. Still flawless in his Pittsburgh debut. Here's Anthony Mantha, stayed on side. A backhand and a pad save made by Shesterkin. Kept in by Letang. Mantha all alone, stopped by Shesterkin.
Oh, huge stop in a 1-0 game.
Cooley deflected that, so therefore no icing. Great chance from point blank range for Mantha, trying to make it 2-0. Caleb Jones, it rolls in wide of Shesterkin, out of the net to play it. Crosby in on the forecheck. Waba moved it into the corner. Brunik pinched in. Crosby trying to fend off Morgan. Brunik briskly across to Jones. He was pressured up high by Sheary. Crosby looked to center, instead fed the point to Brunik. Stopped by Shesterkin, and he'll cover.
So he gets a chance here to play in Pittsburgh and gets to play with Evgeny Malkin.
Kindle into the corner with Tomasino, skated by Edstrom. This is the fourth line for Mike Sullivan. Carrick between the two giants. Rempe and Brunik hasn't played a lot in the NHL. It's his first game, but he was smart enough to duck out of the way of Rempe. Edstrom, the other winger, he's even bigger than Rempe. Tomasino back of the line for Brunik. The handoff for Jones with some room, knocked down by Shesterkin.
Well, Brunik took a big hit from Edstrom there.
Welcome to the NHL. Kendall back to line. Brunik's going off. 13:25 to go, third period, 1-0 Pittsburgh, looking for more, and a tough angle shot from Tomasino went wide. Carlson off the stick of Fox into the corner. Got turned over to Mantha. Now Malkin plays it ahead for the 18-year-old Ben Kindle. And that one cammed right into Igor Shesterkin. It got turned over. Mantha presence again. And then Kindle couldn't handle the pass.
Well, he threw a rock at him. He had him for the one-timer, and Mantha knew it. He had Kindle opened up for the one-timer, and he whipped on the pass. He wasn't happy with himself at all.
Here's Raquel with some speed. Try to wrap around. Shesterkin held the post. Under 8 minutes to go. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Brazo the goal in the first period. Pittsburgh scored first only 33 times last year in 82 games. Only Nashville was on the board first. Less frequently, 30 times for the Predators. And a surprisingly disappointing season for them. Wotherspoon's a newcomer. Carlson said he's a relatively easy guy to play with, Wotherspoon, based on what he's seen so far. Pretty dependable.
Let's say, just watching Malkin tonight, he's had really good legs there. He really wants to have a good season this year. He doesn't want this to be the end, but he's had good feet, and that's always the key. When Malkin skates, it's tough to handle.
Dooley sent it back to the line. Some room for Morgan. More room for Soucy. Through a crowd. A couple of follow-ups by Zibanejad. The last one popped over the net. With Shelov's down and Miller right in his lap. Centering pass for Brazo. And it wound up with Zibanejad.
The ice here with a 1-goal lead. In his first NHL game, he comes up to take the spot of Koivunen alongside of Raquel and Crosby. A heck of a little bump of confidence from the Penguins.
Coached by Dan Muse. In his debut, Trocheck snaps it in. Shesterkin's coming out of the net. 2:20 to go. The net empty for New York, and the extra attacker on. The net empty for Malkin. Brazo. Empty net. Score. Justin Brazo has both goals, and the Penguins lead 2-0 with 2:12 to go.
What a night this line has had. Mantha's been terrific. Malkin, I mentioned earlier, has skated extremely well. He's got assists on both goals by Justin Brazo. Brazo signed here as a free agent. In the offseason, Mantha wins this puck on the boards, and when Miller goes by the puck, he can't pinch it against the wall. Malkin feathers one into the middle of the ice, and Brazo gets to skate down Broadway and make this a 2-0 Penguins lead with just over a couple of minutes left.
What a terrific debut for Brazo. His second career multi-goal game. The other one came for Boston. And a lot of the Ranger fans are heading to the exit. Shesterkin's out again. as the Rangers got the puck in the zone. Fox sends it toward the net. Stopped at the bottom of the circle. Shot toward an empty net, and another goal. This one for Blake Lizotte. And it's a 3-0 lead. And Mike Sullivan is almost certainly going down to defeat in his Ranger debut against his former team.
A little easier to shoot from this distance with a 2-goal lead, although players now shoot from their own side of the red line at the empty net almost all the time. Blake Lizotte, who had a terrific year last year, 11 goals, tied a career high. He's in the last year of his contract. Dead center, it's 3-0, and the Pens will go home with a win on the road, get there a little bit differently. But here's the thing, when you play on a team like this that nobody thinks is going to have a good year, you don't really care. Like, right? Like, you don't really care what anybody else has to say. So they know they don't care if everyone thinks they're not a very good team. Just came in here and played a perfect hockey game. I think 80-plus points, a 500 season, and a year of growth. But that was a terrific start. Artur Shilov's with the shutout. Dan Muse with the win in his first NHL game.
There's so much attention on Mike Sullivan's Ranger debut.